What's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Witcher, and we just found our way out of the sewer, and we may or may not have all of our worldly possessions. Not that there were many of those, but now we are in Vizima, I believe. I haven't actually checked the map. But we might have... Huh? Okay. I was gonna say, I thought these little black dots were the player as well. It's like, there are multiple players. What? But I think we'll just have a lot of exploring to do this time around, because I'm assuming we're gonna have a lot of new stuff here. I wonder what this is. Huh? Okay. I'm gonna stop the con artist, because how could that possibly go wrong?
You look able with a sword.
What is it?
I hid family valuables just before the war, and now...
Sure,
you
yeah.
hire a stranger to retrieve them? You're kidding, right?
I know you well enough. I saw your sort during the war, death marching alongside them.
What's the deal?
Keep it all, as long as you return the family ring to me.
Why is this ring so precious?
With that ring, I'll come into my inheritance.
I didn't know that we... Wait, hold on. Hold on. Geralt, I gotta call your bluff on this one. We've done this a lot. Like, a whole lot. More than I could count. So, for you to even suggest that this is true is a little ridiculous. But, sure.
Oh, well.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I misclicked that. My bad.
Witcher.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
But know that I don't kill humans.
Don't jump to conclusions. Undead linger near my belongings. All I want is the return of my ring.
Or the king, for that matter.
Fine. And I keep everything but the family ring?
Yes, all yours in return for the ring. This key will open the gate in the sewers.
The gate in the sewers? We definitely saw multiple.
Where exactly will I find this treasure?
Enter the sewers and look for a gate. Beyond is the crypt where I hid the chest.
And where will I find you when I return?
I'll wait here every morning.
Okay, so we did see an extra area in the crypt that we could not break through. It was blocked off by a little wall of boulders, and we thought maybe we could blast through it with one of our signs, but we weren't able to. And this seems like that might be the answer as to how exactly you do end up in there. Okay, but I think, take a quick look at our quests, because I think received a key from the crypt in the sewers. Must find a door that the key fits. It was supposedly affiliated with some gang that we had not yet heard of. Spider or something? But I think the primary things that I wanted to look at was, I mean, well, if we can't get the rest of our items, that would be kind of nice. And I think... Let's see, Jethro, what's my things? Oh, he ought to have put this as something we track. Okay, good. Oh, city dungeon, though? Maybe not so good. I was gonna say, there was some question as to where we were supposed to do that, and we went back into the sewers momentarily to do that, except we didn't find anything. But we did hear about this detective from Siegfried, our new friend that we met down in the sewers. Okay, that ominous music had me worried for a second there. Dried fruit. It's awesome. It's pleasant. Ooh. Okay. Sounds like that book could certainly be of use. Seeing as how we are just entering Vizima. More books. Mental... Oh, we've already read that. But I think the books tend to sell for a reasonable amount, generally speaking. So why not? Okay. Is this person up here? Also, what time? Morning? 7:30. I mean, just ignore the fact that we are stealing everything from this person's household. and walking right next to them as we do so. What's up, man? Don't mind me as I take all your belongings. Totally wasn't stealing things. Also, what is up with that hat, dude?
Well.
And the
What do we have
monocle.
here?
I'm Geralt of Rivia.
A warrior like no other. Your legend precedes you. How can I help?
I'm looking for some information. Is this where I'll find it?
Good question. I used to work for the lawyers Codringer and Fenn. Satisfied?
The names mean nothing to me, but I'll assume that's a recommendation.
As a professional, you understand information has its price.
I'll pay.
I'm all ears, White Wolf.
I like how we haven't specified at all what this information is. It's like, yes, of course, I am very accredited. I'm interested in the people who wear salamander pins. Yes. It's like being a private eye. Well, you see, you must wear a monocle if you are to become a detective like me.
I'm interested in the people who wear
We'll get straight to the
salamander
point.
pins.
Just so happens I know a thing or two. Before I go on, I wouldn't mind knowing what your interest in the case is.
As you know, those people will probably try to kill both of us if we have this conversation, because they have eyes and ears everywhere. It's some unfinished business. David. I actually don't remember. The name sounds familiar, but I don't remember who specifically this is. Is this one of the guys who fought us and raided the castle in the first episode, very beginning? But we probably want to keep it vague, just in case. You know, we don't want to go into this town. First person we see, oh hey, let's just spill the beans, tell you absolutely everything in this somewhat secretive
I
mission we
have
have.
some unfinished business.
Join the club. It'll cost you 100 orens.
Here's
Sure.
the gold. Why don't you tell me all you know about the Salamandra leader?
I've been working on that case for a while.
Okay. It's gonna cost you 100 orens more to hear more. Yeah.
Personal matter or
Let's ask about
mission?
this.
I'll risk trusting you. Let me tell you a story. A
Okay.
happy couple once lived in Vizima, ordinary as fish in a pond, with a 10-year-old boy. One day the father returned home and was puzzled not to be greeted by his son, his dog, or the smell of dinner on the stove. He suspected nothing until he found the dog dead, shot in the muzzle with a heavy crossbow. He wasn't even sure it was his dog, but then he found his wife pinned to the kitchen door with a spear. He searched the house in vain for his son. The culprits hadn't left a trace.
Salamandra has
To
been
make a
taking
long story
children.
short, Vincent Mice had to close the case. No witnesses, no evidence. Except 6 months later, a monster's corpse turned up in a trash heap. Eyes like festering wounds, pale, rough skin, unnaturally muscular body. Everyone had forgotten the murder and disappearance. Almost everyone. See, the missing boy had one characteristic feature, a sixth toe. Only the parents knew about it. Always had trouble finding shoes for the kid. And the dead monster had an identical sixth toe. The father has devoted his life to tracking down the murderers.
I hope he finds them.
Back to reality. This is what I've managed to learn.
Sorry, like the
Azar
ghouls,
Javed,
resurrected
a Zarkanian sorcerer, leads Salamander.
people that they
He's
captured
more
and
dangerous
killed.
than a pit of Kikimores, but unfortunately out of my reach. With his contacts and resources, he's got almost free reign in the city.
I got a taste of his abilities. Anything else?
So he's the
Well, I
sorcerer.
suspect
Gotcha.
Salamandra has built a large-scale operation, with gold simply greasing the wheels of their political ambitions. They're conducting genetic experiments, dangerous ones. Regular thugs wouldn't have the knowledge or means.
Who's working for Javed? Any guesses?
The captain of the guard who dropped that investigation disappears nights. Maybe you can squeeze some information out of him.
Is that all?
We might have one more lead. The city guards detained someone who could provide information.
Berenger.
The guards at the city jail?
Yeah. Find a way to question that prisoner. In the meantime, learn what you can from the guards.
Count on it. People open up to me all the time.
His information could be priceless.
Can't tell if that was
Good
meant to be
luck.
sarcasm, Gerald. Soft G on Gerald. Yeah. I suspect this is Berenger.
Know anything more about the Salamander prisoner?
We'll see.
He may be one of the leaders. Though in this town, the guards capture pawns while the big fish swim free.
Oh, he's actually
You'll know
from
for
somewhere.
certain once you question him.
We'll see.
Just one thing. I think you're being followed.
Alright,
Any
turn around and
suggestions?
fight them.
Wait here a while. Make them nervous.
Surprise those who want to surprise you. I'll leave at midnight.
Oh. Yay. Apparently I don't have any choice in the matter. Oh. Confirmed.
The Witcher is taking his time.
He
Oh,
must
it's
have
the
left
professor.
a different way. No matter.
Seems true. I assume the trap is set.
Indeed. Tend to your tasks in the trade quarter.
I'll leave the matter to our best agent.
We're so subtle here. So subtle. Oh. Yeah, we're not subtle. Please take out your sword. It is not your sword. Oh, you only have a silver weapon and it stinks against humans. I want to use our side. There we go. We are not doing so hot at the moment. We spent a very long time pulling out our weapon, which is something that Geralt is making a little bit too much of a habit of as of late, I would argue. Oh, I did jump the gun on that one, and that one, for that matter. Alright, switching stances. You are surprisingly tanky. Come on. You're innocent! I swear. Oh, what? I did not see you. If you could stop running away, that'd be preferable. Come on. You're really tanky too. Despite not being armored and only holding a little dagger. Yeah, I think that was the last of them, except there are still red dots. Oh, okay, you could stop rolling. It's not necessary. There are still red dots on our minimap. To me, suggests we are certainly not done here.
Slashing like a seasoned killer.
I think that's because we kind of are. But I mean, we don't kill humans, so I don't know what you're talking about. Clearly, you have the wrong guy here. You know, you might be able to make a case for keeping this dagger at the moment, because we're using the the silver sword rather, not the steel sword. The steel sword does so much, supposedly deals much better damage against humans. I suppose the same thing would be with a steel dagger. Obviously, I would assume dagger is worse than sword, but is it worth using a dagger instead of a sword in order to have the steel effects rather than the silver effects against humans? That may be, and it seems like torches are common enough that I think we're going to be okay here, at least for the time being, so that we can have that option at our disposal. Oh, there is axe. Actually, hold on. There were a better way to pick this thing up, because you really don't want me to pick it up. Okay, are you going to turn into a bad boy? Vargas?
Slashing like
Aw.
a seasoned killer.
Oh, and that's a steel sword.
No sense cursing the heavens.
Never mind. We're all good. Damage minus 20%? Okay. Well, we do have a sword, though. So that is notable. Okay, maybe we don't need to use the dagger in that case, but anyways. That's over with. We still are certainly not at full HP, but I was kind of hoping we would not necessarily need to go straight into progressing the main story once we got into town, because I'm assuming there are many, many things we could do here. But it seems as though we've been thrown right back into the middle of everything. Team Salamanders have a secret agent who set a trap for me. Let's find out who he is. First, I should interrogate the prisoner being held by the city guards. Okay, so it sounds like that's the next thing we ought to do. Alright, gotcha. Who is not there. Vincent's post. He's one of the guards, if I remember correctly. Raymond's house is where we just were. The sewer, okay, that's where we came from. Gate to, I assume that's probably the next town over. Armor of the Order. Don't know what that really is. I mean, I would assume somewhere where we get armor and stuff. But is it open in the middle of the night? Can we actually do anything with the Order? Are we not friends with the Order? Because that certainly seems like that could be the case. Seems like they are sort of the established guards. Yeah. New area that is now available to us. Flaming Rose. Okay, so that is the group that Siegfried was affiliated with. Noted. So yeah, I mean, it'd be really nice to explore the city. That was kind of what I was hoping we'd get the chance to do. You know, just casual stroll through the streets. But, seems as though, since, you know, everyone wants to kill us, that may not be a luxury that we can afford to have at the moment. So I think we swap things over to going... General... well, hold on. General guard stuff, which ought to be... Go this... oh, no, not this one. Track this. And yes, okay, it is the city dungeon. Which, either this way or I suppose that way too. In fact, I'm gonna mix things up. I bet the game wants me to take that street. I'm gonna take this street. So there are other assassins trying to ambush us.
Not enough play for this.
I'm not sure if we carried over our crafting materials. I did not mean to do
St.
this.
Lebioda's hospital for victims of the Catriona plague.
Oh,
Only 2 stages after this. Old Vizima and Hell. Damn, I'm gloomy.
okay. I just wanted to, you know, pick some berries from that tree there, but thank you for that history lesson. Oh, what? Apparently there are horses somewhere. Apparently they are directly behind us. Guard commander? Does city guard
Honest
commander?
folk sleep at night. What are you doing on the streets?
What is this? It looks notable. We don't know.
Look lively.
There's another torch. That's kind of what I mean, is I think, generally speaking, we've been able to find enough.
The elder races inhabit this district. Dwarven craftsmen and elven artists.
Oh. Obviously, I see this. Smith? Noted. Don't know what that means. Why do I feel like we've seen that name before? Alright, let's help this guy out, I think. Maybe, possibly. Okay. I did not mean to do that. I fought the dwarf. And now he is showing up as red instead of blue. My bad. I was trying to save you! I'm sorry!
Fuck you up.
I may have missed with one of my attacks and actually struck you, and maybe you're actually an important quest character with plot significance. There's also another assassin sneaking up behind you at the moment, in case you didn't know. Sure, I would ideally be using a heavy stance against this guy. He is not dropping down his HP anytime soon. suddenly the assassins that were trying to kill the dwarf and the dwarf are friends with each other. He's taking 1 damage from all these hits. I mean, ideally I would love if we could, like, fend off all of the assassins. Dwarf is still hanging on by a thread at the end of that, and turns around and says, "Oh, why, thank you. I recognize that you may or may not have just swung your sword at me a bazillion times, but you know what? Mistakes happen. We're good here. And we can all be friends." But I am a little skeptical of that. Especially since, you know, you're still trying to kill me right now. You could like, fight back against this guy. That'd probably be helpful. That's... Looks like he is blocking most of these attacks as well. Or they're dealing a whopping 1 damage to him, which might explain why he is not dropping anytime soon. So, we'll be here all day. So, how are you doing? What is up? I'm just, you know, saying hello to an old friend of mine, actually. We, you know, we have our disagreements every now and again, but generally speaking, we all wake up the next morning, we feel a little better about ourselves, and we don't have any lingering resentment. What? Oh, we're actually going to take this guy out entirely? No, we wouldn't do that. Okay, actually though, I'm wondering if we can just completely abandon this guy and he'll leave us alone. He does not want to leave us alone. Alright, dude. I wanted to give you a chance here. I was trying to rescue you. I was trying to be a nice guy. May have mistakenly swung our sword a little too aggressively. He hasn't hit us in long enough that we are actually regenerating HP more than we are losing HP in this fight. But I mean, in case you haven't noticed, he's not exactly close to death. And now he doesn't care about it. Because he needs to go inside. He's safe now, though, mind you. The assassins have been fended off. May or may not have been because someone came in, swooped over to help him. Said person may or may not have been... Whoa. May or may not have been someone that said dwarf turned around and tried to fight. Okay, so I do notice we have significantly less gold than we had prior to our imprisonment. And we did just spend a fair amount when we, well, I mean, 100 orens, which previously wasn't a ton, but 100 orens, no less, when we purchased the information from our friend over there. Nope. Oh, so that was, likely the blacksmith. Given how there's a sign for a blacksmith here, and the guy went through one of these doors. Oh, man. Wow. Actually not bad. I didn't realize there were so many people we took out here. Maybe the blacksmith took out the vast majority of them before we even showed up. But, okay. Vivaldi is another person whose name I do not currently recognize, and yet he has a name, which means he must be significant. It is also the middle of the night. So, you know, why not walk into his house? No, we can't carry the torch. That's fine. We're just here to loot all of his medium-strength alcoholic beverages. I mean, his name isn't red. Do we have any reason not to talk to this guy? Do we know anything about him? Might be helpful before engaging in a conversation immediately after waking him up. We'll be fine.
What do you want?
Greetings, dwarf.
Racial segregation with the first words uttered.
What do you want me to call you?
Bah, you're like everyone else. Like the whole accursed city. Vizima humans get everything, we get naught.
I neither live in Vizima, nor am I human.
What then?
A witcher.
Take that.
A mutant.
Well, in that case, sorry. I'm Golan Vivaldi. My cousin Vimy Vivaldi once met a witcher. A debt collector, apparently.
I'm Geralt, and I'm no debt collector.
What brings you here?
Are you the blacksmith?
How's business?
I don't want to discuss it.
Your choice.
Yes, I have that.
It's bad for business to discuss
Lucky
business,
dwarf.
of course.
What brings you here?
Goodbye.
Apparently that is it. Okay, I can only assume that we will be back to talk to this guy at some point when we have more information about him and what he does and his connection to everything else. Okay. No. I don't think we can hop this fence. Take a look at what's in that barrel. That is where we just were, right? Master of Alchemy? Oh wait, hold on. Wanted individual with a handy sword. Inquire within. That's where we just went, wasn't it? Am I making this up? Did it kick us out somewhere slightly different? No, this is not the same place. We do have a sword. We do also have dried fruit, if that happens to be your type of thing. I mean, I'm one generally for fresh fruit, but I suppose I do understand those who prefer the dried fruit. It is helpful for storage purposes, being able to have it for an extended period of time without worrying about it going bad. So yeah, you know, I suppose I can respect that. Oh, we do have a book or two in our inventory, I believe. So, not our inventory there. Guide to Vizima. Like most human cities, Vizima was built on the foundations of an elven city. Seat of the Temerian kings grew over the centuries and today consists of 3 large districts. Port and sprawling outskirts. Oh, that's not one of the 3 districts. Okay, I thought it was. My bad. In the temple quarter, visitors' attention is drawn to the monumental cloister of the Order of the Flaming Rose. St. Lebioda's Hospital, famous for the many miraculous recoveries that have occurred there, is also hard to miss. Okay, so I think we at least saw the hospital. We may not have seen the Order of the Flaming Rose cloister. We did on the minimap. I don't think we actually walked up to the building. While admiring these edifices, avoid wandering into the non-human district, which is where we are right now, which has become a den of poverty and the lair of social outcasts. I mean, granted, that probably means it's the type of place where you're most likely to get work if you are a witcher, someone of that sort. Most non-humans have been relocated to Old Vizima, has become a ghetto inaccessible to visitors. Okay, I'm not sure we've been there, but, I mean, it sounds like you're also saying that this area that we're currently in is a bit of a ghetto. Currently, the trade quarter is developing rapidly. This is hardly surprising, as it is home to wealthy merchants, as well as trade and political officials. The city's leading bank and the town hall can also be found here. While in Vizima's trade quarter, be sure to visit the famous marketplace, where traders offer goods from around the world. Okay? Not sure that does all that much for us. And that's everything we have to read. People are still sleeping. What's it? Oh, right. It's not 7 or 8 in the morning anymore. It is the middle of the night. I suppose that is understandable. Let's check out if we get his basement here, see if we can find out more about him before we engage in discussion. I've already read that. But, as I was saying earlier, I think we can learn a fair amount about alchemy. No. We already know all this stuff. We can sell them for a fair amount of orns, I think. Since books seem to be one of the more expensive things you can get. And this guy, I believe, is an alchemist, which would explain why he has this creepy series of apparati down here that may or may not include body parts and blood. I suppose is also a body part, and you know, like bats and is that a moth? A bee? I don't know. Taxidermy is not really my thing. Also, how do you do taxidermy with something that has an exoskeleton? I don't know. Too many questions. Oh, it's this guy.
Finally, the Witcher Geralt answers my call.
We meet again.
I need your help again.
With what?
A grave matter. Something that could
Is that
prove a
upon-
milestone in alchemy. Connected to your profession, too.
Tell me more.
Sorry, I got lost in thought.
You had a job.
Help me fulfill my life's work. A tower stands in the forest swamp near Old Vizima.
A princess up top, dragon below? Thanks, but I'll pass.
Silence, please.
Silence.
Legend says a mage
Please.
and alchemist built the tower. No princesses or dragons.
So what's my job?
The mage died ages ago, and the tower was forgotten. The power within it attracted and deformed nearby creatures.
In short, it breeds monsters.
Sounds like our type of work.
Precisely. I want to examine that source, Witcher, and write a dissertation certain to immortalize my name. I'll have access to secrets that have been hidden away in that tower for years. Unfortunately, the tower is locked. I'll pay 1,000 orens to whoever helps me get inside.
Ooh. Okay, so we do have a spare key on us that we have yet to determine what it's for. So maybe it just so happens that we do already have that key. However, sounds like we may actually need to physically escort you into said tower. And, you know, we've had some issues in the past with missions that we need to, you know, have or accompany someone else alongside us who oftentimes is quite weak, and that would certainly be the case for you. I mean, if Siegfried wasn't able to defend himself sufficiently, then you're not going to be any better. And we did already do this a little bit for you back in the outskirts of Vizima, but let's see. I mean, of course, why not accept it and we'll consider it.
Were it easy, I'd not need you. Breaking into a powerful mage's lab is complicated. We must gather detailed information on the tower.
Okay, so this probably is not the
In
one that
tales
we already
and
have a key for,
legends
then.
recounted by elders and swamp folk. In old books, too, recorded wisdom is infinitely more reliable.
Any specific titles in mind?
Ransant Alvaro's The Secret Gates, and an alchemy treatise, Ain Soph Hour. I know a certain dwarf had a copy of The Secret Gates.
Ah, okay.
The
Probably the
second
person we just
book,
talked to.
written by an anonymous gnome, was lost long ago, and could be hard to find. While you search for these, you can test my newest invention, a crystal that links places of power and my workshop. It will allow you to teleport, disintegrating your being into billions of pieces that
Fantastic.
travel beyond the time-space curve.
Also fantastic.
Then it'll reassemble my being in your lab? Sure about this?
There is some chance of error, but it's minuscule.
Define minuscule. Okay, so it sounds like that is the fast travel ability that we were wondering whether or not it existed. So that's cool. I do wonder now if it just so happens that Vivaldi is the dwarf that he was talking about, and maybe we just visited... Uh-oh. That was freaky. Oh! Hello!
Get out!
What's going on?
We're arresting him for collaborating with terrorists.
Him? A Scoia'tael warrior?
His nephew was in the very unit the Order captured. The same unit that slaughtered villagers near Vizima.
No, it's a mistake. My nephew is young and foolish, not a murderer.
Was. He's hanging already. Before dying, he admitted contacting you. Glad we caught them before they managed that weapons shipment. Aaron, a true patriot, lost his life luring them into a trap. Gather your belongings, Vivaldi.
Aaron, the guy we were helping
You can
earlier in
breathe
the
in
outskirts, I
dungeon.
think it was.
I wanted no part of the business between the Hawker and the Scoia'tael.
Ah, yes.
The fools gave me no choice. Fearing the revenge of the Scoia'tael, Heron betrayed the whole unit. Probably thought he'd be safe, get a reward. The young non-humans will be carrion for ravens and crows. The only true victors in this conflict, for someone is sure to avenge the freedom fighters. Use their deaths, take just revenge for the cause. And the scavengers will be fat and sated. Ravens and crows.
Okay. So that happened. Sounds like, as we suspected, Heron did have a lot of connections, a lot of ties to the people in the city proper, and, as we kind of know, was doing some shady business. Now, if we go back in here... oh. Yeah, we've already looted this place. I mean, maybe he is still the person that we are supposed to go to for said book the alchemist is looking for, but it just couldn't be that easy now, could it? I want to say that you're cute, but at the same time, I've grown very distrustful of any and all dogs in this game. Also, don't necessarily know where we are right now. I'm wandering a little bit here. Okay, we're back in front of the hospital. Gotcha. Just perusing the streets a little bit.
Waste of words.
Aldi & Sons Cooperative Bank? Oh, he's a banker. Okay. Place? Merchant Street? This is locked. I mean, it is the middle of the night. I suppose that does potentially make some sense. Shawnee's house. I mean, I'd have to assume we'd run into her, right?
Snake. I'd love to meet the fool who associated skin shedding with medicine.
Thank the Greeks and Romans for associating Hermes with it. / Mercury. Jewelers? I mean, that guy has so much jewelry that it looks like he's a prisoner. You'd think that the graphic designers would have thought about that, but you know what? Maybe that's just 15th century graphic novelists. Or whatever year we're in. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. We can, in fact, find Shawnee in here. Uh-oh. That's not Shawnee.
What's he want? Say something.
Definitely not Shawnee.
Does Shawnee live here?
Yes. They send you from the hospital. You certainly look ill. Gods are punishing you.
Sure.
Yes,
We're from the
I'm
hospital.
From the hospital.
You can go upstairs. Just don't force yourself on the girl.
Okay. Well, let's steal from Shawnee, because, you know, we're friends, right? It's more like borrowing without asking in this case, right? Totally acceptable. This. Grandma's scorpion probably kicks like a mule. This doesn't say strong, weak, medium alcohol. Oh. You do.
Didn't your mother teach you better manners? She'd not forgive herself for raising such a monster.
But
Did she kick us out? That's the first person who's ever done that to us. I honestly did not even think that was a thing. Ooh, does this give us quests? Oh no. I think we might want to take a quick stop at the hospital. To see, well, since the person was asking us, hey, are you from the hospital? And one would assume that since that is a notable place, put that one. Antiquarian, I don't even know what that means. Wasn't it? It's like right here? Yes, despite it being one of the largest places here, it still doesn't have a... Oh no. Yeah, no. Still not the hospital. Go right by it or something? Maybe we actually can't do that? Alright. I'm going back in there. You can't stop me. Maybe I'll stop stealing from you. Maybe you will still be mad at me. That'd be understandable.
Where are you going? No one teach you manners?
I'm here to see Shani.
Sits in a room entertaining guests and pays next to nothing.
That's interesting. It's different than what she told us the first time.
Can't afford food for her.
Oh.
I don't dare feed her the medic's food. She'll likely fall sick. Will you take pity on the kitty?
Let's see where this is headed.
Be silent and let me pass.
I might not sit well. Yep.
Stomping into my home like that?
But
yeah. Maybe we got off easy the first time. Third time's a charm, though, right?
Old, grey, and still chasing skirts. You should be ashamed.
We're not old and gray, thank you.
it's not like that, good woman.
No need for charm. The girl's busy.
Then could you please tell her?
Didn't your mother teach you better manners? She'd not forgive herself for raising such a monster.
But
Okay, fine. Continue kicking me out. We may have missed our opportunity to sneak by on that first occasion, but I'd have to hope/assume that that will not be our last opportunity to talk to Shawnee/meet her in that location. But that does mean... Fine, we'll stop procrastinating and we'll actually go here. If you insist. We'll, in that case, follow the red marker. There are a lot of dogs here. This is a hospital. Despite it not having an indicator on the map, maybe we still can go in here? Maybe you're gonna tell us we can't go in.
No passage.
You're gonna tell us
going
we can't go in.
inside.
Disease patients inside. I'll not have you spreading the pestilence.
I'm not even sure what we would have that would entice him to let us in. Not sure what this is referring to. We could pay him off, but I mean, we don't really know that we need to go in here. I'm assuming that since it's such a notable location that there is something to do there, but we don't know what it is yet, just how important it is, so it seems like we should probably still be able to delay a little. What is a flutter? It looked like a horse that fell from the sky. I think that is the sound that we were noticing before. And apparently we cannot go around that way, so we will go around this way. So yeah, I don't necessarily know. Is it going to be one of those things where heroes on the guard street? Okay. Get off your high horse, man. It may be that, I see you. Probably going to be a difficult battle in which somebody wants us to take this thing out, and we just haven't talked to them yet, but I'm sure we're just doing them a favor, right? Assuming that we can, in fact, get through here, we can. Hello! You do look kind of nasty. Really hoping you are not crazy powerful, which based on how little damage we are doing at the moment, can't help but feel like that is certainly a possibility. It's really important that we do hit all of our marks here. So that this guy does not get many opportunities to fight back. But he is getting opportunities to fight back. That doesn't sound good. Flash looked good. Right, he's at like 2/3 HP at the moment. What on earth was that? But in case you didn't notice, so are we. He is currently beating us. One moment. That did not do anything, seemingly. Neither did that. Maybe it's stunning him momentarily, but it's not looking so good. So we certainly could be jumping the gun here. I think we were, but I was thinking that maybe we're good enough that we can still handle it, which might have not been the best idea. Is there anything we have on hand? No. That might help us out here. Candy. I did not see that we picked that up. Pretty sure we have cat potions, but that's not going to help us out here. What if we run away and hope to get some help from the guards? We are trapped in here, in case you're wondering. Doggo, can you help us? Also, we can't attack you right now. And we are probably in trouble. Switching stance, or now it's switching stances to quick stance. Don't know if that's going to be better. We are dealing next to no damage, so it seems like that may not be. Ooh, we did knock him down, actually. Ooh, nice, nice. Is he dead? We got him! So, okay. Thing to note there. Right as he was about to jump up and attack us, then we used our sign. That knocked him onto the ground, which was not something we could do before. No, you took down the dog! Dog tallow? Ooh. Letter fangs. Valuable ingredient fangs of a vampire. Some merchants will gladly purchase. And whatever this is. So, yeah, like I was saying, I'm assuming somebody probably wanted that thing dead, but couldn't tell you who. And hopefully having that fang is enough. Enough to prove to them that we did in fact fend it off. Okay, so do we need to go here? I know this is one of the quest places, but we can also go to the dungeon, which sounds infinitely more pleasant, of course. Also, we have very low HP at the moment after that fight, so could certainly make the case that we ought to find a way to get a little more HP back before we do anything that might lead to direct conflict. Well, what could possibly go wrong in here, right? Talking to the guards that tried to capture us just mere hours or maybe day ago. I just steal? That's all I wanted. Again, I always read that as Salamander's Dust. Are seemingly sleeping. Ooh. Are some stairs downstairs. As opposed to stairs upstairs. No, that means we have to check things out in advance of talking to this guy, in case we can find any juicy secrets about him that we ought to know. Like, is he stashing some stuff down here? It is very suspect, and yeah, I mean, it looks like your typical storeroom, I suppose. Yeah, this music Making everybody seem like they're an evil mastermind.
I'm a fence. I buy and sell.
I don't know
What
what
are
that
you
means.
Everything worthwhile.
Trader?
So
The
what'll
D,
it be?
not a T.
We doing some ploughing business?
Oh, yes. Bring, show me your wares. I am curious what you have, but let's get straight to the
City
point.
guards found a witcher's sword at your place.
First of all, it's the cocksucking guards. Second, why do you care?
Another witcher, Berengar, came to see you.
Aaron
Well, it
God.
wasn't his
Okay, I'm
fucking
sorry.
eyes
I've
then.
been
How do
mispronouncing.
you know that?
I have your boyfriend's other property. The sword I got elsewhere.
Other property?
Right. Meaning not his sword, got it? Like his undershorts that he pissed all over or something.
What? I don't really understand who this guy
So
is.
where did you get the sword?
What'll you give me if I tell you?
It's an
I'll
illegal
stop
trader,
short
it
of gutting
seems.
you.
Fair offer. I bought it from a man at the Hairy Bear Tavern.
Care to describe him?
No need, he's the most famous dice player around. Out fucking standing, a real goddamn magician.
Okay. What about
How did you get Berengar's
Berengar's
property?
property?
Stubborn ass fellow, aren't you? From a middleman.
Not sure this is necessarily true. Well, I mean, and again, it kind of is.
You don't get it. I'm not interested in the middleman. I want
I mean,
information
if the middleman
about Berengar.
does lead us to
Then don't
Berengar, then
fucking
yes.
ask
But...
me. Your Witcher boy was working for the alchemist, Kalkstein. That information you get free. I'll charge you the usual for anything else.
This is what we just asked him, right? So, I mean, we could potentially see if we can get him to tell us more, potentially for a cost.
How did you get Berengar's property?
Stubborn ass.
Where do I find him?
At the Hairy Bear, man named Coleman.
There we go. Okay, that's it. Alright, skip through some of that. Assuming that he was going to give us exactly the same text, but maybe not. Although we now know Coleman is our guy, apparently. I assume that is the middleman.
Have you heard of Salamandra?
Piss-swilling reptiles. I've heard of them, but I've no fucking idea what they want.
Amphibians.
What?
Salamanders are amphibians.
We were wondering this earlier. I thought they were amphibians.
I'll be proud if I know.
Hit him over the head with your scientific facts, Geralt. Business with Salamander? I mean, I bet he does. Probably not directly.
You do business with Salamandra?
We'll see.
Did you fucking fall off your horse?
How did you get Berengar's effects?
Dog's balls, I'm a fence. Want me to draw you a picture? You think I ask every thief who he ploughed for his goods?
Let me draw you a picture. A certain organization, Salamandra, has it in for witchers. A witcher, Berengar, disappears, and all he had lands in the hands of a fence. You. Getting this?
A pox on pictures. Berengar's nothing to me. My suppliers might know more. Besides, I'd never survive in this business if I sold hot goods I actually had a hand in getting.
I mean, you don't look like any warrior yourself. Certainly not. And I mean, it's a partial truth, I would think. I mean, of course, by extension, you are involved in acquiring it. You're the one financing all this, supposedly. So, you know, they wouldn't be doing it if they didn't think they could sell it to you. So, not entirely convinced, but I'll play
That's
along.
believable. Innocent until proven guilty, I guess.
Yes,
So
but
let's
no.
assume it's not you for now.
I'd say so. Goddamn Dijkstra, ace spy. Dog's balls, what a clever
Please stop
analysis.
using that expression.
If you figure anything out and need more information, creep on over and we'll talk.
That's the other thing, is by not accusing him of being a baddie, one would think he'd be a little more inclined to actually, you know, share information with us. City and its environs. Find out how Thaler got his hands on Berengar's stuff. Okay, we got a whole bunch of quest updates there. He was a key informant, or will continue to be, going forward. Okay, and with that, I think this is probably a good place for us to wrap up on this video, because, I mean, I'm sure if we continue to go any further, we are probably going to end up going to the dungeon, and that is probably a whole new thing onto itself. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and all the random vampire dudes that we fought for little to no reason. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one.